Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover on the Swift Bolero 744 2016 model. So as we start, we'll walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle. Just underneath the skirt, just here is your waste drain off. So this is anything you have put down a plug hole. So you just drop it down there and you open it off the tap like so, and this will drain off your waste water. So normally on the way out of a site you would go to the motorhome service pitch and allow this to drain off. It's very important in the winter that this point is drained as well, as you wouldn't want the water to stay in the tank underneath the chassis exposed to the frost and freeze, because it could split the pipework and the tanks and void your warranty. So this is one point you'd want to drain off during your winterization process and when you leave site. Coming further up, you put your keys here. So one of your round-headed keys operates this lock here. Push it in. This is your cassette loo, so you've got to ensure that the blade is in the closed position on the bottom bowl of the toilet. You'll be able to lift the orange handle and slide the cassette out the vehicle. You've then got some wheels, so you can drag it to your waste disposal site, which is beside your toilet block. And then to empty, take the grey cap off, press the button, the orange button, tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, there's normally a tap beside the waste disposal point for your loo. Put some water in via the spout, put the cap back on and give it a rinse and tip out again. Then if you're using the liquid form of chemical, you've got a 120ml cap there to measure. So 120ml straight into the cassette. It's good to go back into the vehicle. If you're using the tablets, you would put a pint of water into the cassette, so you can do that when you put the cassette in. Push it in empty, open the blade, flush a pint of water into the cassette, followed by a tablet in the cellophane form. So either the blue or the green. Would ask your site which is the best tablet they prefer you to use, or liquid. Mains connectivity point, so this is how you'd hook the vehicle up. So get your hooker blade, expose the end, slide it on, like so. Always hook the vehicle up first, then your sight, and do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle. And beside it you've got if you're on a super site, this is an aerial point there. So what you can do is you can get a length of coax. On a super site they'll give you access to their aerial, so you can connect here and then you can use the motorhome off their aerial, so you can watch your telly using their aerial instead of yours if you are in a hard to reach signalled area. This is your flue for your Aldi boiler, so it indicates that the boiler's underneath the bench seat here at the back, so just make sure that's obstruction free at all times. At the back you've got your high level brake light and twin reversing cameras. You've got your arms for your bike rack. There's one, there's two on here. If you were wanting to use this one again, you would just have to put these on here and then get the rail to use the top. Otherwise you can use the tow bar mounted bike rack. So 3 bikes, these through the wheels, clip the wheels down onto the rails, and then these on the crossbars. And then what I would advise is putting some sort of bike lock around the bikes to secure them to the vehicle. If you did want this off, you would just lift this handle, and all that'll do is come off the neck of the tow bar, and you've got your 7-pin electrics here which just clip into the electric point there for your back brake lights. Coming down the passenger side, you've got storage underneath this side of your bench seat. So there's your rafter bar for your awning and your awning winding handle. And that's for your freshen your waste using the little point if you wanted to swing them down, which I'll show you on the fresh in a moment. And then under here is a location of your leisure batteries. Just underneath here is your fresh drain off. So exactly like the waste, this is fresh water, so this will clip onto here and you'll be able to swing it up when travelling and swing it down when you want to empty the fresh water. So you'd only empty fresh water if you are leaving the vehicle parked up for a while, if you've taken on contaminated water, or you're winterizing, which is where you want to make sure all the water's out the vehicle so nothing freezes. And again, you just turn it and that would empty. Above you've got your fresh water filler, so this opens with one of the round-headed keys as well. And then what I would do is go and buy yourself a hose pipe. It doesn't have to be a food graded hose pipe, it can just be one that you haven't used in the garden, and some hose lock connections, because it's just a brass tap on most sites. Put your hose pipe into there, wait until it either overflows out the side of the vehicle, or you can check the main control panel inside to see how much water you've got on board, and that'll go up in increments of how much you will have on board. If you can't get to a hose pipe, there's this pump here. So this is a socket for a pump. You will have to go and buy a wheel submersible pump. Pins there give it a 12-volt feed. The hose end would go into there, and then the pump would drop into an aqua roll or a bucket or container of water and suck the water on board. That's if you can't get to a hose pipe, but mainly on a motorhome you just use a hose pipe. External gas point. So if you wanted to take your barbecue or awning heater, instead of carrying a separate bottle, you can use the main bottle on board. So you just need a spigot which connects to there, and then you turn the tap on and off, and you need some gas hosing to connect the spigot to the gas hosing with a Jubilee clip to your Kadak or awning heater or barbecue. Fridge vents, awning lights, and your awning. LPG, so liquid petroleum gas. So this is your gas locker. So lift this up and you can fit 2 bottles on here, so you can fit 2 11s, the bigger bottles. To connect the bottle to the pigtail, it's a left-hand thread with the being gas, so it's just a hand tightened pigtail, no need for a gas spanner. And then you turn on and off from the top of the bottle. Make sure you turn it off when you travel, and then when you arrive on site you can turn it back on again, but it's safer to have it off when travelling in case you're involved in any collision. And then when travelling as well, so when you put your bottle on and staying on for good, if you just strap it in, it'll stop it moving and rocking about when you're on the road as well. And you do have space for another bottle should you need it. Little crash valve here which explains on the yellow sticker there. So if you are struggling to get gas through, if you just come out and you press this for 3 seconds, it allows the gas through the regulator and into the vehicle. But like I say, gas off when driving. And then on the door, opens with the main ignition key. You've got your diesel filler, which is a lockable diesel cap. 5.5 bar, which is 79.5 psi for your tyres all round. Toolkit is underneath the passenger seat, which includes a jack and a brace and a tone eye. Engine battery underneath the floor. So it's not underneath the bonnet, it's underneath the floor. And your bonnet release is on the side of the dashboard on the passenger side. So if we have a quick look to the left hand side underneath the driver, you've got your screen wash. This cover then lifts off and gives you access to your power steering fluid and your radiator coolant. You've got your brake fluid, which is DOT4, engine oil filler, engine oil dipstick here for checking your levels, paint code 632 for your Nero aluminium black, an earth for giving or receiving a jump start. And then you see this cover's up here. Should the cover be down, you just need to put your key in and lift it up. Behind the passenger headlight, that's your positive for giving or receiving a jump start. And then you've got your weight plate. So stage 2 conversion, it's on an Alco chassis. So it's 4,250 gross vehicle weight. With the tow bar, if you want to take the bike rack off and tow something, you can tow up to a train weight of 6 tonnes. So that's the vehicle, and whatever you're towing can't exceed 6 tonne. So once on board the vehicle, above the habitation door is your main 12 volt control panel. So if you're hooked up, you'll have mains 240 volt. If you're not, you'll just have 12 volt. Your master switch is this bottom one in the bottom right. And then on the left, you've got these buttons here. So starting at the top one, you've got your lights. And then you've got your dimmer for your lights in the lounge. And at the back, that will dim them down if you press and hold. You've got your main switch for your lights, so you do have a couple of switches for lights. And then at the bottom, you've got your pump, which you've got to have on to pressurise the water. Otherwise, you'll not get any pressurised water, you'll just get whatever's left in the lines and it'll simply fade out. So these lights here, one will be on and light, one will be a dimmer light, and one will be an interior light. So you'll be able to sort that out by pressing and having a look when you pick the van up. On the left hand side of the control panel, you'll see this bar here. It says F, fresh water, and you can see that it's full, and you can see that W on the right is empty. There's no bar there because we have just opened the waste and drained it all down. You can then use these arrows here on the right to scroll through. So you'll start off with your Sargent EC620 units, that's your Sargent power supply unit. If you scroll down, it'll tell you how good your leisure battery is, how good your vehicle battery is, your solar panel power and ampage currently coming in, which is 0.0, because the solar panel will go to sleep when the mains hookup is in, because it's a bigger voltage of hookup. You've got 12.5 volts in your leisure battery, and if you want your tank heaters on, you then press the middle button and this little symbol in the top right will come on. So you'd use your tank heaters in the winter when it was going to freeze overnight. So if temperatures drop to sub-0 degree temperatures, you want your tank heaters on. This will put current through the water via a probe in the tanks to stop the water from freezing. So you'll not wake up and you'll have no water because it's frozen. So pop them on by just pressing the middle one. And then you've got your internal temperature, which will tell you, and your external temperature, and then your dimmer levels, which you can go up and down by just pressing the middle one to set the level of dimness that you want on the light. Next to it, you do have your Aldi heating and hot water control panel. So Aldi, as you know, is a wet system. So there'll be an expansion tank in the vehicle, which I'll show you, which matches up to here. But this is the panel. So you turn on and off from here. You get this screen here, which is just kind of like the standby screen. It's telling you how hot the inside of the vehicle is, 31 degrees at the moment. Press menu. And then this is the settings. So you've got a house with a thermometer in and a plus and a minus. This is how hot you want the interior of the motorhome to be. So you can go up and down, whether you want the heating on or not, to the temperature that suits you best. And then below you've got the water. So the little shower head indicates hot water. So press it once, the plus, and it'll go to half a bar. That's 40 degrees of heating your water. Press it again and it goes to a full black bar, which is 60 degrees of heating your water, depending on how hot you want your water. So normally 40 degrees is enough for showering, 60 is for doing your dishes. Coming down to here is which source you want. So you've got electricity sign and it's saying off. So if you were on site, you'd use electric, 1 kilowatt and 2 kilowatts and 3 kilowatts. So depending on the ampage you get out of your hookup lead on site, which you'll be told when you arrive and book in on a site. So small SEL sites will have a lot lower of a amperage through your hooker bleed, so you might get 6 or 10 amp, whereas on a main site you'll get 12 amp on a camping and caravanning club. So you can use 2 or 3 kilowatts. The only problem you may have if you're then using a high voltage appliance at the same time being on 3 kilowatts and boiling an electric kettle or using the microwave, you may have to turn this down to 1 kilowatt just to use them appliances first, and then once you finish using them you can turn it back up. So that's the electric. If you were on site you wouldn't want to waste your gas, so you would be using electric. And then below you've got the gas, so when it's on green it's on, when it's on blue it's off. So you've got the gas there which you could use with the electric together if you're in desperate need of heating the water or the vehicle in the winter. It gives it a boost because it's using both sources together. You'd allow the vehicle or the water to warm on both sources, and then you turn the gas off after about 10 minutes and allow the electric to continue to heat the vehicle. If you were wild camping you would have no access to electric at all, so you would just be using gas to heat the vehicle and the water. So you would be using this button here. You can go in the settings and do other bits and pieces like timers, but I'll keep it nice and simple and we'll just go through the main control panel for now. There is more videos from Aldi themselves. If you put Aldi heating control panel into YouTube, Aldi themselves will go through this and tell you the other menu, but we'll just keep it nice and simple so we don't confuse you. So in the kitchen area, so first of all, to operate your Dometic style fridge, so you've got your on off button here which you just press and hold. It'll go off, press and hold again, it'll come on. You've got 3 sources here, so you've got the plug which is mains electric when hooked up. This will work as a household fridge. You've got gas if you're wild camping. The gas will then cool the fridge down. You'll hear it clicking in the background until it lights. And then you've got the battery here, which if I put it on it'll fail because the battery setting is a feed from the engine when the engine's running. So the idea here is that you pre-chill it on gas or electric first. So if you're keeping this at home, hook it up a couple of days before, put your fridge on, allow your fridge to get the temperature before you put your shopping in, then leave your shopping in for about overnight, I'd say, to chill, and then when you're ready to set off the next morning, onto battery and you're good to go. But A stands for automatic energy selection, so this will do this all for you. You don't really have to intervene. So if you put it on the A, it stands for automatic energy selection, and it's found the best source available, which is hookup. If I was to take the hookup out, it would then light on gas. If I was to start the engine, it would then go to the 12 volt feed from your engine alternator. Please note with the automatic though, if you left your gas open and you pulled in for diesel, obviously it'll not find mains electric and it'll not find 12 volt because you've just killed the engine off, but it might find gas. It's automatically programmed to wait 20 minutes before lighting on gas. So if you did go wild camping and you wondered why it wasn't lighting on gas and it was failing, just put it on to gas manually and then it will light, and then give it 20 minutes and then you can pop it back on the automatic should you wish. To this side you've got your temperatures. So when pre-chilling you want it on 5, when you get your shopping in you probably want it on 3 or 4 being the highest, otherwise you can damage the shopping as it gives it freezer burn. And in here you've got your large fridge, your freezer box, and then when you finish with it, like winterising the van about the water, you want to winterise the fridge. So you want to take everything out, you want to clean it out, and then you want to leave the door open ajar. So on the light there's a little nib which you push in and 2 pins come out. So now if I was to close the door, it'll close but it'll not close fully, so you can still get your hands down the side, which allows air ventilation in and out of the fridge. Above the fridge you've got your cutlery drawer. Got your lights for your kitchen on the splashback, and then a little light here above the sink. Storage. More storage in here, so you've got your mains plug for your microwave, which you can turn on and off, and below you've got your 150 watt solar panel regulator. It's flashing green there, which means that it's charging, so just leave that to it. You don't really need to do anything with this solar panel regulator. Storage drawer, and then you push the catches in to lock them. Large storage under here with your sink cover, which goes on there. And you've got your gas taps here, so you've got 3. So you've got your red one, which is your hot water for your boiler. You've got your green one, which is your oven and hob, and you've got your blue one, which is your fridge. So you can isolate them from here if you wish, but you don't really need to touch these. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced. The technician will turn off each appliance to test that the appliances are working to the correct standards. Any problems with gas, turn the bottle off to be safe. Your microwave is just a 800 watt microwave, which just, so you've got to be on household mains electric for this to work when on a site. And then you do have the electric hot plate this side, which brings on the red light, which is the back one on mains electric. Little spark igniter there, so you can turn on your 3 gas hobs, which are lit. And then below you've got your grill, and below your grill you've got your oven there. There, so just press and hold, wait until the thermocouple gets warm before releasing. Underneath you've got storage, a little bit of storage. It is intruded by the wheel arch there, but the plug's there for your electric hot plate should you have to isolate that as well. In the wardrobe opposite the kitchen, you've got your freestanding table, which can be put up at the back, the front or outside should it be a nice day, and that lives in there with the turnbuckle turned when travelling. You've got your leg here for your boom arm table with your top, which goes in at the front there in the floor mounted base. And then at the back, like I've been saying, this is your Aldi expansion tank. So with the liquid, you've got a min and you've got a max. Always don't top it up until you've ran the system up, because this is an expanding liquid with it being in an expansion tank. So it'll give a false reading until it's run up, and then you see where the liquid actually is before you can top it up. And should you need to top it up, you buy the Aldi antifreeze liquid and you pour it in here by taking that nut off. The liquid does have a 5-year lifespan, so you can get it changed on service if you're going to continue to service the vehicle with us, or you can get it serviced local to home if you live further away from Tyne Valley Motorhomes. At the back here you've got your TV booster, so you've got a little mini and a max there, so you can boost it should it be too strong or too weak off the booster. And then to operate your aerial, loosen the nut off, push the stem up, and then direct it by here should you be struggling to get a signal. But when travelling, before setting off, you want to make sure it's pulled down and that the nut is fastened to stop the aerial from getting caught by the wind and getting ripped off the vehicle. So in the washroom area, you've got your large shower cubicle. So remember, when winterizing, it's best that you unscrew the shower head off the hose. As you can see, it's got quite a few loops in there, and pull this hose to lie in the tray and leave all the mixer taps throughout the vehicle in the open position. This will allow any water that's in this pipe or in the pipes behind to drain straight out via the waste, which would be open from outside. Shower screens, you tie them back, and then you've got this little nut here which you can push in and pull out, and once it's pulled out and that's taken off, you'll be able to slide the screen back and forth for use, but when travelling you want it clipped away so it doesn't bang about when you're on the road. Storage, and then to operate the toilet, make sure the pump's on. Blue button at the back here flushes it, so it's a fresh water flush. Flush it first to lubricate the seal on the blade, and then open the blade, which is slide to the right. Use the toilet, flush after use, and slide back to the left, which will close it, and you'll be able to get it out when the cassette is full, which will come on here. So underneath your driver's side rear lounge seat, you've got your fuse board, so your EC600 unit. So on one side, which is your left hand side, you've got all your 12-volt fuses. So do carry some spares, and they're all listed on here what they do. You've got the system shutdown button here, which is this black button, so if you didn't want a power drain you can press that button and that'll kill all 12-volt when you store in the vehicle. You've got the charger and heating and hot water system, so this is when hooked up these will light up. If you're not hooked up they won't, but I would just leave them alone, don't touch them. And then you've got your RCD, so your main trip test, and your MCB. So if you trip the vehicle out with a kettle or a hairdryer, you can try here before you try your main site feed. Carpets, boilers in the corner there, so if you lift the middle section out in the back U-shaped lounge, you'll see this little tap here. So this yellow tap is your winter drain down tap. So once you've drained the fresh and the waste outside, you've opened all the taps throughout the vehicle, and you've removed your shower head from the hose and laid the hose in the shower tray. You would lift this up like so, leave it in this position. What it'll do is there's 10 litres of water housed in here. The 10 litres of water will drain directly out underneath the vehicle, so if you're parked on the drive or in a storage yard, you'll just see 10 litres of water drain out your vehicle. Don't be alarmed, it's just when you've opened this, that's how it gets rid of it. Because if you leave the 10 litres of water in here, obviously this is not warm, this becomes cold, the water can freeze and split the water container in the boiler, which is very expensive to repair and isn't covered under warranty, as its frost damage is your responsibility. So lift it up, leave it, all the taps open, all the taps outside open. Then when you return to the vehicle and you want to use it in the spring, shut this tap, shut the fresh and the waste outside, shut all the taps inside the vehicle. You can then get a hose pipe and take it to a water hose or a water source even, and fill the vehicle up with water. Come in, put the pump on the main panel, go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll get automatic cold water because the pump is drawing it from the tank below the van to the tap. Go to the hot side, you'll get coughing and spluttering and it'll make all sorts of noises. Don't be alarmed. Let it do its thing until you get a free flow of water from the hot side of the tap. When you get a free flow of water, it means the system is primed and all it's done is it's transferred the water from the tank below into here, pushed all the air out until this is full of 10 litres of water. Then it's coming through your taps pressurised. So to make the bed out the rear U-shaped lounge, if you just lift and slide, pull the leg down, do exactly the same on the other side. So lift up a little bit, slide the leg out, slide it out to meet in the middle like so, and then you'd use your backrests upside down into the middle there. To create your large double bed at the back. I would then advise turning all the other cushions upside down as you get a flatter surface to sleep on. And to make the front bed up, so do exactly the same as the back by pulling them out and dropping the legs like so. Under here there's a bed makeup board, which is this bit of wood which you can find in your wardrobe, goes in there just to fill that space, and then you would use the cushion, so you'd use the backrest and base off there, base cushion, backrests off the back wall on here, and then put this infill cushion which has this funny shaped square on the end, L-shaped, just to go in there, and there you have a double bed at the front. So now in the cab, to the right of the driver, you do have your handbrake, and then on the door you have your electric windows, so driver and passenger, and electric mirror adjustment. So you can adjust the mirrors here, which is the top and the bottom, so there's 2 adjustments on both mirror. To black the windscreen out and side doors, you've got Rema's cab line, so pinch and slide along. That'll black the passenger and driver's door out, and then to do the windscreen, pinch, slide along. It's the magnet in the middle which just connects. You've got your headlight adjustment and your rear fog lights. Your trip computer on the end of your wiper stalk, so this will tell you your average speed, your travelling times, your distance travelled, your range, your average and instant consumption, all through there, through this screen here. All your steering wheel controls, your lights and your indicators, and at the bottom you've got your cruise control and your speed limiter on this stalk. So off in the middle, get the green light in the bottom of the rev count, that's your cruise control, where you just push up, and should you have to cancel, you can cancel with a foot brake or on the end and resume to the last speed set. And then at the bottom you've got the speed limiter, so push up slowly goes up 1s, push and hold will go up in 5s, and in the top left hand corner of the little screen you'll see the speed it's set at. It does have the kick down function, so you can floor the accelerator and it will override the speed limiter for a safety feature. As this is a Comfortmatic automatic transmission, so you can either park it in gear, put the handbrake on, and when you knock the engine off you'll not get any beeping, or you can park it in neutral, and when you turn it off it'll beep, but make sure that you do use the handbrake at the same time, as it hasn't got a park function. So park it in gear or neutral, it's up to you. Parking it in gear, the beeping won't go on. But you do have reverse, so you've got your rear view constantly on here, so you can always see out the back of the van. Go into reverse, you get a different camera. V1, and then you can see out the back again. Traction control, hill descent control, with it being an automatic. Hazards. This locks the doors, including the habitation door, because it is on the central lock-in. You will just have to make sure all your individual lockers are locked with the little keys. Heated mirrors, and you've got a 12 volt and USB for connection. So that's just charging, and then your connectivity for the head units down here. Cup holders. Temperature on the outside ring, fan speed on the in, must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work, just this button here. Distribution on the outside, and whether you're recirculating air or bringing fresh air in. Radio, FM, AM, DAB, press 1 to 6 to save your favourite channels. Media is obviously USB, input or Bluetooth audio. And then to connect your phone, you'd press phone, connect a phone, add a phone, you want to find Uconnect. Make sure the pins match, press pair on your device, then it'll ask you if you want to download your contacts. Just press allow and all your contacts will be synced into the head unit, so whoever rings will come up and you'll be able to scroll through your contacts and ring somebody when you're on the road. Glove box, top glove box, which is heated and cooled by the air conditioning, and then you've got a paper clip here on the top which you can pull up. And then you've got a little handle on there where you can lock your phone or your sat nav into place by pushing that back in, and then that just folds up. But all you need to do is pull it from the back, be a bit tough with it, as it is just plastic, so it's a snug fit.